The boy who hated his father. There was once a young boy named Daniel who grew up in a small, quiet village. Every morning before the sun rose, he would wake up to the harsh sound of his father knocking on his wooden door. "Wake up, lazy boy. Life is not for weak people." Daniel hated those words. While other children were sleeping peacefully, he was already carrying water, cutting firewood, and helping his father in the farm before school. His father, Mr. Johnson, was a strict man. He rarely smiled. He never praised Daniel. And worst of all, he never said, "I love you." As Daniel grew older, bitterness quietly entered his heart. He would watch other fathers laughing with their sons, buying them gifts, taking them to football matches. But his own father, always serious, always hard, always demanding. One rainy evening, Daniel finally exploded. "I hate this house," he shouted. "I hate the way you treat me. You never care about me. You've never been a real father." His mother began to cry softly in the corner. But his father stood still like stone. Then he spoke quietly. "One day, you will understand." Daniel stormed out of the house that night with anger burning in his chest. And from that moment, he promised himself something. "I will become successful, and I will never be like my father." Years passed. Daniel moved to the city. Life was hard at first. Very hard. There were nights he slept hungry. Days he trekked for miles looking for work. Moments he almost gave up completely. But one thing surprised him. Every difficult situation reminded him of his father. When he felt tired, he heard that voice again. Life is not for weak people. When people insulted him, he remembered the toughness he learned at home. When others gave up, he kept pushing. Slowly, life began to change. Daniel started a small business. The small business became a company. And before long, he became one of the youngest successful businessmen in the city. Money came. Cars came. Fame came. But peace. Peace never came. Because deep inside him, there was still anger. One afternoon, his mother called him. Her voice was weak. "Daniel, your father is very sick." Silence filled the phone. For a moment, Daniel felt nothing. Then slowly, memories began to return. The farm. The shouting. The discipline. The pain. He almost refused to go home. But something inside him whispered, "Go." When he arrived at the old village house, everything looked smaller than he remembered. The walls were old. The roof was damaged. And there on a small bed lay his father. Weak. Thin. Helpless. For the first time in his life, Daniel saw fear in his father's eyes. The strong man who once looked like a mountain now looked like dry leaves carried by the wind. His father tried to sit up but couldn't. Then he whispered, "You came." Daniel stood silently near the door. Neither of them spoke for a while. Finally, his father pointed toward an old metal box beside the bed. "Open it." Inside were old papers, receipts, and notebooks. Daniel frowned. Then he saw something that broke him instantly. School fee receipts. Every single year. Hospital bills from when he was a child. Letters from teachers. And then, a document showing his father had sold the only piece of land he owned years ago. Daniel's hands began to shake. "That land," he whispered. "That was your inheritance." His father smiled weakly. "You needed education more than I needed land." Tears gathered in Daniel's eyes. Then his father spoke again. "You thought I was hard because I hated you." He coughed painfully. "No. I was hard because life is harder." Daniel could no longer hold himself together. Tears rolled down his face. All the years of anger, all the bitterness, suddenly collapsed at once. His father continued softly. "I didn't know how to speak sweet words, but every pain I gave you was to prepare you for a world that shows no mercy." Daniel fell to his knees. For the first time since childhood, he cried like a little boy. "I'm sorry, Papa." His father stretched his trembling hand and placed it on Daniel's head. And then he said the words Daniel had waited his entire life to hear. "I have always loved you." 3 days later, his father died. But Daniel never remained the same again. Years later, Daniel became a mentor to many young people. And whenever someone complained about discipline, hardship, or strict parents, he would tell them this. Sometimes the people who love you the most are not the ones who make life comfortable for you. They are the ones preparing you to survive without them. Because not every love speaks softly. Some love arrives as sacrifice. Some love hides behind discipline. And some of the greatest blessings in life are only understood when it is too late. The end. Life lesson. Never judge love only by softness. Some people carry love in their hearts even when they don't know how to express it with words.